Arguments are not going to work in this situation because the position Arvind Kejriwal in is not an intellectually defensible one. There's a phrase in America called suicide by cop, and that refers to a desperado who realizes the game is over, so he goes out, he robs banks, he distributes money, he attacks everybody, he shoots at random, and he hopes that at the end the cops will kill him and he will die a martyr's death. What Arvind Kejriwal is looking for is suicide by Congress. He is hoping to behave as outrageously as possible. He is hoping to file all kinds of FIRs, stage all kinds of dharnas, force the Congress to say it can't support various bills, attack the LG, call him a Congress agent, till ultimately the Congress withdraws support, his government falls. He is hoping there will be another election, and he probably thinks, when judging by the polls he may be right, he'll get a majority in that election. But before he does that, he needs to keep the vote bank happy, he needs to keep the cadres happy. The reason he's doing this is because the only people who didn't pay their bills were his satyagrahis, people who went along with him, essentially Aam Aadmi supporters. This is their reward. A big thank you, and say, come and help me in the next campaign, we'll get a majority.
Is that what this is about, Madhu Kishwar? Suicide by the Congress? Because Anjali Damania's contention tonight is, we said this in our manifesto. So you knew about it. These are our voters. It's our job to give them a Christmas cake. So what if it's February?
Rahul, I personally want to thank Kejriwal for living up to my worst fears, because he's doing it so fast and furious that all the illusions are going fast. Now, you keep calling him an anarchist. I think anarchist, no, but that's too respectable a term. This is lumpenization of politics, because it's not just saying those who didn't pay the, or, you know, that everybody will get 50% concession. They're saying only those who followed us. Next, you will have special laws for AAP members. They will say our members, whoever becomes party member and wears that topi, that absurd topi, will have separate laws governing them, just as Kejriwal.
Is there a discount, Anjali, on wearing a cap as well?
No,
is the water fee waived?
In Delhi, there people wearing caps are going around bullying people in offices, becoming also extortionists. You have no idea what kind of forces.
You have no proof to back
No, I'm saying.
You take it to another extreme. What they're doing is bad enough. You just take it to a completely different extreme.
You thought when I used to say they're pious cranks. See, the point is, when they did this, when they cut meters.
No, but
wait, it was so romanticized, that action. There were legal ways in which they could have taken.
No, but I have a straight question for Anjali Damania.
But the point I'm making
very
is,
serious question, Anjali.
On their behalf.
Anjali, very serious question, which is actually most important for everyone watching this broadcast tonight. If we don't pay our January and February bills, is there a 50% discount going forward as well? Is that also part of the Aam Aadmi Party package?
Rahul, is there any point answering your question?
It's a very important question. We could save a lot of money. If you have some insider information, please share it.
You can say whatever you want. You have the channel to yourself. You have the channel to yourself. You can say whatever you want.
Why don't you answer the question yes or no?
Whatever you want, Rahul.
No, if you are sure that this is where populism ends.
I had to answer many different things.
If this is where populism ends, just say no, there's no future discount. It's a very valid question in the context of what you've done.
You are here on a fixed agenda of projecting.
There's a very valid question in the context of what the Aam Aadmi Party is doing, Anjali Damania. Is there a further discount?
Of portraying AAP in the wrong way.
Look at what you are doing. It's your actions which raise these questions. I want to go across to YP Singh, because we still have Raj Thackeray to deal with. But before that, just on the politics of anarchy being practiced by Arvind Kejriwal, can Anjali Damania and Kejriwal get away by saying, we said this in our manifesto, Mr. YP Singh?
No, certainly not, because the law is very clear that the manifesto has to be in accordance with the law. The rule of law prevails in the country. In fact, I was one of the first persons when the world was extolling Arvind Kejriwal. At that time I said he had tendencies of being an anarchist. He has developed his own stormtroopers who take law in their own hands and try to sway public opinions. It's the weakness of the government that they have cajoled this lawbreaker all the time. Had it been a rule of law, had the cops been tough, each of these persons would have been heaped with several criminal cases, not just of violating law and order, but also of so many other cases like corruption, like Aam Aadmi Party own members have indulged in so many acts of corruption, but nobody is looking at them. I think these are the people who have been propped up by the Congress government, and that is why they are having this voice. They are just living on stormtroopers. It is anarchy which they are trying to
no, but there's another subterranean current.
You keep asking me for proof. Now, for example, when it's being alleged that they've been propped up, you'll say, give me documentary proof.
No, because we don't like making unsubstantiated charges.
I'm just saying their actions are speaking for themselves. It's not.
But Mr. Sundram,
I mean,
there is a subterranean message over here that Kejriwal is sending out. It's a class message. That people like you sitting in your cozy, air-conditioned offices can pay this bill, and therefore you will find Kejriwal's anarchy disturbing. But those satyagrahis who are actually feeling the pain, the ones who don't have the money, they are grateful. They look at him as Moses. So therefore, Veer Sangvi, Madhukishwar, and you may not like it, but there's a whole bunch of people who will actually go out and vote for Kejriwal who actually think he's doing a great thing. They're completely decoding it the opposite way that you're decoding this, Mr. Sundram.
Rahul, I'm not making any comparisons.
Anjali Damania, the question is to Mr. Sundram. There can't be anarchy on center stage tonight. Allow me to set the rule. Follow that. Let Mr. Sundram speak.
Let's get one thing very right, Rahul. A democracy allows everybody to demonstrate. It allows people to protest. It gives a lot of leeway to people. The question is that please demonstrate, do anything within the law that you feel you can do. Nobody is going to object. But then you stand for elections, you come to power, you are the government, you are now the ruling party, you are the one who is to make the laws, and you turn around and it's almost like you're saying with absolute impotence, I'm sorry, I'm incapable of performing as a ruling party. I'd much rather continue performing as an opposition and even take it to anarchy and get people to object. To what? What is the objection to? The objection is to the law, to what is there. If you are the ruling party, change the law. If you can't change the law because you find politics is a different game altogether, then maybe you should not have been in politics. Maybe you should have continued being a revolutionary and done what you were doing. But I find it very strange that when you take office, you then turn around and say, I am in office, I am the ruling party, this is the law, and now all you citizens, please break the law.
Rajesh Kalapa?
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
Neither do I, frankly, because this is turning from the absurd to the farcical to the bizarre beyond measure. But is this an attempt by Kejriwal, Rajesh Kalapa? Because he can't deliver on real governance. He can't make substantive reform that can be seen on the ground. Therefore, he wants to act like Santa Claus. Give people a 50% discount so that they feel that the Kejriwal government is doing something.
Only some people.
Those who broke the law.
Not all. See, had he even done it across the board, I could still make some sense of it. But to say there shall be different law for people who follow me...
No, but you never voted Kejriwal, so you're not eligible, Madhu.
No, but that in itself, that you distinguish between categories of citizens...
Is this an attempt, Rajesh, to try and divert attention from real governance?
Yeah, you see, when they contested elections, they contested on the plank that they would provide good governance, perhaps. And they are unable to do anything. You see, there are people who are dying on the streets because of the extreme cold. And it was their real job to go and protect them, to see what the road conditions were like, to see what if electricity was being given, and they have failed on all these fronts. Now, what is the only option left to them? The only option left to them is to do something dramatic, one, and two, to keep their vote bank intact. Now, while doing this, what they're doing is really incentivizing the law breaking and creating a... So
why are you allowing this? Why don't you pull support?
I'll tell you.
How long will this anarchy go on propped up by your party?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you. You see, the Congress party has a long history, and we have had a very intricate and deep role in the building of this country's...
no, don't give us a history lesson. Answer my question.
Please. So after having said that, you'll appreciate that we have extended support to them on the basis of their manifesto, and it's not been just beyond a month.
No, this isn't their manifesto, then why are you worried? They said they'll give a 100% discount, then what are you worked up about?
Of course, we'll have to work it with them. We'll have to tell them, like, this is not acceptable. And we have
why are you telling them this on a television show? Either pull support or speak to them. Are people from your party speaking to Kejriwal? Are they okay with such anarchy?
No, they're expressing their opinion, and I'm sure that Kejriwal's party is listening. At some extent.
You know,
but after having said this,
it's absurd what you're saying. If this is how they act after they listen to you, I wonder what they'll do when they're not listening to you, Veer Sangvi.
Please, the more important than all this is, You know, this is something which I'm speaking beyond party lines. And I'd like to tell you this, that when a political party is registered with the Election Commission, they make a solemn assurance to the Election Commission that they're going to follow the Constitution and follow the Constitution.
No, all this we know. We don't want a civic, geography, history lecture.
Yeah.
I just want to ask to you, why is it that you don't withdraw support? Why are you allowing this theatre of...
This is battered wife syndrome. I'm telling you, this is battered wife syndrome.
It would be great. It would be great if we could withdraw support on the television studios.
They've gotten addicted to getting beaten. They've gotten addicted to getting insulted.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this is characteristic.
Yeah, that's because we don't have a 56-inch
wife syndrome.
We don't have a 56-inch chest, you know, which can do all kinds of things and just
well,
walk
join
around the
gym,
country. You know, walk around the country saying that, you know, we have a great deal. We don't have a 56-inch chest. We're not 65-year-old people.
You're doing what Damania was doing. This is what Modi phobia has done to you. Yeah. Destroyed your brain power. You can't think.
Okay, this debate is not about Modi.
I mean, really.
He had a lot of chai in your soil, but I want to come back. 1 second. No anarchy in the studios, please. We don't like it when Kejriwal does it.
Why are you allowing
I'm not. I stopped it. I'm not. I'm trying to stop the both of you. I want to go across and shift our attention to anarchist number 2. I wonder if they have secret calls at night, because there's pretty much the same grammar of anarchy playing out in Mumbai as well. And Shalini Thackeray, why should those citizens suffer because some hoodlums from Raj Thakray's party want to go out, create a tamasha? And why is it that your goons only wake up from election to election? You did this just before the 2009 elections, in the last few months of 2008, initial months of 2009, when you beat up everyone in Mumbai who didn't support you because you wanted votes at that time. You're doing it now. So he does it for 6 months around the elections, then he goes off to sleep to arise 6 months before the next elections. What's going on over here, Shalini Thackeray?
Rahul, I think you've got your facts wrong.
Which fact is wrong?
We wake up from election to election is what you perceive as. The thing is that when we we make our point in a very democratic manner, in a peaceful manner, you all are not bothered. Media does not even
so
want
why are you
to
bothered
know
about the media? You do your job.
Been taking up
so you're saying that this is because Raj Thackeray wants to be on TV ahead of the elections, that people can see what he's up to?
If you want to listen to me, last 2 years we have been fighting for the toll issue. We have had 4 meetings with the CM. We have filed a PIL in the court. Nobody wants to talk about it, and when we finally do not have any other option except to raise the issue again, because it is an unfair practice of the law which is
it just helps if the election is a few months away. You can raise awareness, but you have a point. And I want to put that point to Aryaman Sundram. Mr. Sundram, I'm coming back to you, Shalini. I'm coming back to you. You don't need to have all your responses out in the first answer. I'm coming back to you in just a moment. Mr. Aryaman Sundram, the point that Shalini Thackeray makes is, when Raj Thackeray says these things in a peaceful way, no one pays attention. Now the Chief Minister is calling him, the national media is focused on him, and the issue has gained certain traction which wouldn't have happened otherwise. Does that justify the grammar of anarchy, Mr. Sundram?
Well, according to me, I think the sting is in the tail, because saying that peaceful means did not work, what does that mean? That violent means are permissible? My answer is no. But at the same time, certainly, like I said earlier, democracy allows people to demonstrate, to voice their views, to do what they feel is correct. Now, I can only say that the people of Mumbai have a great advantage, because now they've seen what a person before he's in power is like when he's an anarchist, and see what happens when he comes to power, like what we find in Delhi. And I suppose the people in Bombay really have...
Does that worry you, Shalini Thackeray?
Because what they really...
The fact that now people have seen Kejriwal's antics and they fear that if Raj Thackeray were to come to power, there will be Kejriwal Part 2 in Mumbai.
Absolutely.
I don't think we need to be compared to anybody. We have been following certain practices, and we are responsible for the people who have placed their trust in us all this while, and we want not to be a passive opposition like the opposition we have in our state today.
You take the word passive very literally.
We want to wake the sleeping government and start.
The word passive is taken very literally.
Yes, we do not want to be a passive opposition. The thing is...
Madam, I have only one question.
Yes, Mr. Sundram.
We are not advocating violence.
Mr. Thackeray, listen to Mr. Sundram answer his question after that. Mr. Sundram.
I have only one question, because you keep saying peaceful means didn't work. Do I take it then that you justify violent means?
We do not justify violence, but when we did peaceful means, today for example, we were having a very peaceful Rasta Roko. It was very clearly stated that we will not inconvenience the people. And
I don't know whether you heard what Raj Thackeray said. I've got his comment from the 27th of January and I want to go across to Shweta Parulekar. Here's what Raj Thackeray says. I am telling all my MNS functionaries, Ms. Thackeray, I'm quoting. Ms. Thackeray, I'm quoting what Raj Thackeray says. I am telling all my MNS functionaries and colleagues. One second, why don't you allow me to speak? Let me tell the viewers what Mr. Thackeray is saying. I am telling all my MNS functionaries and colleagues, you should not pay toll in any of the state's roads, and if anyone comes to stop you, then beat them up. Raj Thackeray, then beat them up. If due to your agitation, vehicles get stalled on the road and there is a traffic jam, so be it. This is Raj Thackeray's language. This is, madam, the grammar of anarchy.
We totally believe. And the people have supported this movement because we have been on the streets, and people have supported this movement because it has been a lack of transparency from these contractors.
Now, one second, you're shifting positions here. First you said you don't justify violence, then I quote to you what your leader says. You're saying people are supporting you. God alone knows which majority you're speaking about. I want to go across to Shweta Parulekar. The point being made by Raj Thackeray, and he's clearly learning from Bal Thackeray, who was the original when it comes to anarchy. You know, he's the original Kejriwal. He's the original anarchist, because now we're seeing the nephew copy from the uncle. But the point that Raj Thackeray makes is, when we made this point peacefully, no one heard us, leaving us with no option but to go out and cause a rampage. How do you respond to that, Ms. Parulekar?
I would like to make 2-3 points, because I was listening to the discussion about Arvind Kejriwal and the anarchist as Arvind Kejriwal, and comparison with Raj Thackeray as an anarchist. Now the thing is,